for Eric and Break to jump on the old Skype here. Should have a super fun show for you all today. This is episode 578. Usual news, of course. I've got some different homie discounts this week. Nintendo kind of stepped up their game with the sales, so super excited about that. I'll be talking a little bit about a show I watched called Deadlands, which is pretty fantastic. If you don't have Shudder, I highly recommend it. Stinkos are going to be interesting this week, as always. Everybody's favorite segment. Sweetos, looks like we got a couple good Sweetos in there as well, and an interesting free-for-all topic today. Also, I'm working on a big interview. Of the political sort. I'm working on getting Benjamin Dixon on, and a few other people. I still got feelers out for Lloyd Kaufman. I've got feelers out for even somebody like Ice-T, and a few other interviews that I'm working on. But should be an interesting show today. Just waiting for Eric and Break to join. But man, it should be a heck of a show today. Immediately after the show, it'll take me a few minutes to get set up, but I will be doing a special Valentine's Day GDP, which should be a ton of fun. And the theme today is going to be, if people don't know what GDP is, it's Grinder Dance Party. I just play requested songs on YouTube. If you give me a link, I will play it. And I would prefer that it stayed YouTube just because. So I take a few minutes after I get done with the show proper, and then I get set up for GDP. So it should be a heck of a show. The theme today is love and sex, since it's Valentine's Day. So hopefully you guys can stick around after the show and join. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. So it's the show after the show. Nobody's in chat quite yet. Just waiting on Eric and Break to join, which they should be here soon. I see Eric online, but he's... I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's restarting his computer or whatever. Break usually joins us right at the beginning or a little bit later during the show. So I think it should be a pretty good show. A lot of political happenings this week. What else? Just lots of stuff in general. Bernie is kicking ass. Trump is kicking other people's asses, that's for sure. So I'm sure we'll talk about that in our Stinkos. Break usually has something very political to talk about in that respect. But all in all, should be a fun show. Give me a couple minutes. I will be right back, and we will let's do this. It should be fun. Let's see. No, nothing yet. So the show's RPGrinders. If you're just joining, I'm waiting on Eric and Break to join before we start the show. Immediately after today's edition of RPGrinders, I will be having what we call Grinder Dance Party. And what that is you will give me a link to YouTube. I'll play your request. Songs today, the theme is love and sex. Of course, today is Valentine's Day, so that's where that theme came. Let's see if we can get Eric on the line here. See if he's ready to go. All right, calling Eric now. You'll hear the Skype sound. Apologies. That's really weird. Hang on. What up, Eric?
Why did it disconnect?
I had to hit hang up real quick because it muted me for some weird reason, but we're live on the
Anyway,
air.
I had to delete Voice Maker because it was fucking up with my computer's performance.
Yeah, it's all good, dude. The show's RPGrinders. We haven't started yet. We're waiting on Breakman to join, and as soon as he does, we will rock and roll. We should have a really good show for you
I
all.
think the extra looping back into my input and output together probably takes more processing power than I actually have.
Yeah. I think you need a new microphone, dude. I don't know what's going on with the sound of your microphone, but it's not terrible. We can deal with it. That's better. Sounds better. Should be a fun show today, Eric. Lots of happenings on in the world today. Gaming world as well. Lots of news. You still there, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Some reviews. I have a review of Deadlands. It's pretty
Kind of.
pretty cool show on. You there?
Yeah.
Oh, pretty cool show on Shutter. I know I talk about Shutter like all the time, but it's getting better and better. It's the best streaming service, especially if you like horror movies. So I highly recommend it. It's
I got
really
the
really
Sonic
good.
the Hedgehog review.
Oh, cool! Don't spoil it for anybody.
I needed to watch your story, but I never got around to it today.
Yeah. So Eric will have a review of Sonic. So if you're worried about spoilers, you might want to mute through that review. I have not seen Sonic, but I heard good things, so I'm actually kind of excited for that. Um, what else is going on today, Eric? Like lots of fuckery in politics. Lots of good stuff in politics. Plus, we will have stuff on superstition, so you're gonna want to stick around for that. Just waiting on Breakman. The show's up.
Media is treating Bernie like the bad guy in Kung Pao,
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
or like his opponents. I mean,
Yeah, we will definitely talk about it, Eric. I mean, every attack in the book they've used against Bernie, and I'll be discussing a little bit about that today. But that's actually I take that as a good sign because that means we're winning. So, anytime somebody catches heat, which Bernie's been catching heat since he's been in, but now the attacks have ramped up. But we'll be talking about that later in Stinkos and Sweetos, to be honest with you. And we should have a fun show. We got an interesting question about superstition today. I can't remember exactly why we were talking about that, Eric, but it's an interesting subject to talk
I
about.
think it came up when you were talking about on Twitter about why people are afraid of cameras or something.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay. That's interesting. I've been trying to get a prominent YouTuber on the show. I was talking about interviews earlier. I'm currently trying to get Ben Dixon. He's a political commentator on the show. I sent him off some information. I don't think I got anything back yet, but it should be a ton of fun talking to him. I also am talking to SGV News First. He's a First Amendment auditor and, in my view, a goddamn hero. So I'm trying to get him on. He's a little trepid because of some other bullshit that happened to a different YouTuber. But if anybody listens to this show, they know that we're very sympathetic towards, First Amendment auditors and people of that ilk, and also progressive political commentators. So, Ben Dixon, if you're listening, Benjamin Dixon, if you're listening, this show would be very, very friendly to you. So if you're listening, please give us an interview. It should be a fun time. We'll talk a lot about the attacks on him. He found a video of Mike Bloomberg that I think our audience would find very illuminating. Stuff like that. So should be a ton of fun. Hopefully we'll get Ben Dixon on. Hopefully JG from SGV News will come on. I'm still working on Lloyd Kaufman. I'm working on a bunch of things. So, should be a ton of fun today. Like I said, I'm working on videos and all kinds of other stuff. But right now we're just waiting on break to start the show, and we'll get the show started properly. Looks like break's in chat right now, so it's he should be here any second. How was your week, Eric?
It was okay, I guess.
Yeah. And there goes your mic again, man. I don't know what type of feedback is coming through your mic, man. It's so weird. But it's alright, so we'll deal. We should have a heck of a show. Ooh, hold on a second. I might have just got something. Okay.
What's going on?
I'm looking at. I just got an email from Benjamin Dixon's team. So it looks like I will be responding after the show and after GDP because I can't do that while we do the show proper. But it should be fun. That'll be a fun interview. I don't know if you've heard of Benjamin Dixon, Eric, but heck of a dude and a big time progressive. I think he might even be a surrogate for Bernie. So that would be super interesting. Let's see. Let's try to get Break on the line. I don't know what's going on here. Yo, Break, do we got you?
Yeah, I hope.
Okay, do we still have you, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I don't think anybody's in chat right now, but I was just telling Eric Breakman that we're gonna have a heck of a show today. Also, right after the show is Grinder Dance Party. I'm working on an interview. I'm getting closer to get an interview with Benjamin Dixon, who's a political commentator, a progressive, which should be fun. I really want to talk. He exposed Michael Bloomberg, who is basically another Trump, trying to buy his way into the Democratic nomination. So hopefully we'll have that soon. I don't know if we'll be able to do a live video with him or it will be recorded. But either way, I'll try to set that up, and should be a ton of fun. I'm working on a lot of interviews, guys. I really am. Behind the scenes, I'm always trying to get us interviews. It doesn't always work out, but do what we can. How was your week, Break?
Yeah, it was alright, I guess.
All right.
No, it was good. It was good. I'll go with good.
Okay.
I'll go with okay.
Okay, that sounds fair.
It was a week. It happened.
That sounds fair. Looks like everything is going as planned. Real quickly, tell me if you guys can hear this. Hold on. What the hell? Okay. Apparently my shit's not working.
Or doesn't it match up with the Democrat?
There we go.
I heard it.
Okay, you heard that? Cool. Okay.
Or something.
Yeah, it's fucking... I don't know what's going on, man. Like, there's been some glitchy bullshit on the computers today. But if you're just joining us, show's RPGrinders. We have not started the show proper yet. Just waiting for everybody to get on in. Best thing you could do is subscribe to the show, share it with everybody that you know. We've been doing this for a long time, and it always helps when you share the show. So let's see. I'm still trying to get us to where we need to be, but
Yeah, it'll happen.
yeah. All right.
Yeah, like it took me freaking. I started literally around 6 o'clock trying to get my computer going.
Yeah.
And I thought I had it at a place to go around 6:30, so I turned it off. And then when I tried to turn it back on about 6:45, well, here we are.
Yep, here we are.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's anybody in chat. Nobody's in chat quite yet, but okay. You guys ready to go? We might as well just start because we got a heck of a show scheduled today. Also, we have right after the show Grinder Dance Party, so that should be interesting. Hopefully somebody will show up to it because right now it's not looking so good in chat, but we'll see how that goes. But all right, gentlemen, you ready to rock and roll? Okay.
I mean, yeah.
How about
yes.
just roll? You ready to roll?
Sure.
Okay. What about you, Eric? You ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. And welcome everybody to episode 578 of RPGrinders. I'm your host, Frank Branches, alongside my trusty cohorts, Eric the Great and Breakman the Bold. Gentlemen, how are you?
Happy Valentine's Day?
Yes, it's Valentine's Day today. What did you get Mrs. Breakman?
Wait, I was supposed to get her something?
Yeah, I mean, you might want to go do that.
I'll be right back.
Break totally forgot about Valentine's Day. How are you, Eric? You doing all right?
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Okay, we got a heck of a show lined up for you all today. I mentioned before we started the show proper, we got tons of news, homie discounts. Nintendo's actually bringing it this time, which is kind of a shock. A couple of reviews. And some other fun stuff like everybody's favorite segment, Stinkos, this week is going to be interesting, and our free-for-all is going to be interesting. So hopefully you guys will stick around for that.
Very interesting.
Yeah, should be fun. Should be a ton of fun today. So I guess with that...
You're old enough for the reference.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's get started with the news. RPG News. All right, Eric, you're up.
Excuse me. I had to cough. We've got a bunch of release dates on the news, and the first is for Katana Kami, which is Way of the Samurai story. So it's basically a Way of the Samurai if it were a Diablo-like roguelike game.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because it's in isometric view, and it's basically made by the people who made the Sharon Water series, and it comes out on February 20th for the PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC for Steam.
Yeah,
a digital-only title, unfortunately.
Yeah, but, no gameplay, but looks.
There's a trailer online, but we don't have it here.
Okay. Looks good from the screenshots.
It says as a pre-order bonus, those who purchase Katana Kami during the first week it's not a pre-order bonus, it's a early week purchase bonus. But you'll get 2 free DLCs, which are probably just shitty items that get outclassed easily, but help you in the beginning. But and if you purchase the Nintendo Switch or Steam versions, you'll get a 10% discount. I don't know why they couldn't work that out with Sony, though.
Yeah. It looks really pretty from the screenshots. I did not get a chance to see the gameplay before, but from the screenshots, it looks really interesting. It looks like a cross between maybe Diablo and Neo and maybe, a couple other games thrown in there for good measure. But, yeah, I'm down. Looks good. Looks good for sure. Hopefully the game...
Dude's daughter was taken as collateral.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Eric.
Anyways,
takes the more we're gonna rape your fucking daughter. Like, what the fuck, man?
All right, what else you got, Eric?
Do you want me to describe what's in the bonus DLC?
I guess if you want, real quick.
there's the 5 famous swords set, which includes the swords Dojiri Yatsuna, Nagasone, Kotetsu, Heshigiri, Bizunafune Nakamatsu, Furu Masamune, and it comes with a blueprint for each sword. So I guess you can make it later if you wanted to.
That's cool. All right. Okay.
But the Wanderer set includes all of Sheeran's gear from that game.
Okay.
And the Cabra's Blade and Cabra Reborn, which I guess are his swords.
Okay. All right. Anything else on that, Eric?
Nope, that's really it.
All right, Break. You're up.
Coming to us live from RPG site, Udaware Romono. Prelude to the Fall and launches on May 26th in North America and May 29th in Europe. Fuck you guys, I'm done.
Are you going home? I thought you're already home, man.
Damn it! I am already home.
You going to bed then?
Yeah, I want to bed.
God, for everybody, and I don't think anybody's in chat, but if anybody's watching this on archives, I totally apologize. I don't know. I think it, you know what I think it is? I think RPGsite.net, which is where we're pulling all our news today, like they have 50 million ads on their site, and it kind of slows shit down. So my apologies. But anything else on that break? No, okay. All right, tried to play the trailer, but you know how that goes. All right, let's move on to the next story. It is...
Yeah, well, you know, what's going on is it's Valentine's Day, and, you know, there are a lot of lonely people out there on Valentine's Day, so the internet's kind of being pushed to its bones today.
Yeah, that's true. I would not doubt that, for sure.
The porn sites are running on...
They definitely are, man, for sure. Okay, let's move on to the next story from RPGsite.net again. It's Sekiro Wars launches in the West on April 28th for the PS4. As my internet's having a hard time here. So there's some bullet points, dramatic character interplay, engage with the colorful cast through the dynamic lips dialogue system, where what you say and how you say it has a profound impact on relationships off and on the battlefield. Exciting combat payoffs. Your bonds with team members flow into the high energy combat finish. Let's see, brilliant anime production, etc. And I think I lost Break and Eric. Do I still have you guys?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
You have my attention. Like, this sounds really interesting. The whole lip system.
Yeah, see, I was gonna say, Break. That actually is really interesting. The way you say it, part really kind of encapsulates probably the big thing to this game. So the main character design is by Tite Kubo. Guest character design is Yukiko Horiguchi. Bun, that's always fun to say.
TJ Kubo is the guy who did Bleach, by the way.
Yeah. Fumikane Shimada, Ken Sugimori, Noisy Ito, and Shigenori Soejima, and then there's a full cast. So the artwork looks fantastic. Hopefully the game follows suit, and I am really, really interested in that lip system that Break was alluding to there. It seems like Sega is not quite behind this game like they were.
Well, the last time they tried this, it didn't sell very well. That's why.
Yeah, and it looks really good to me, honestly. This would be something
but
that
Sega also
play.
didn't try hard enough.
Yeah. Okay, Eric.
But like word of mouth stronger now than it was back during the PS2 era.
Yeah, for sure. So hopefully word of mouth will propel this game, just sort of like how the Yakuza series did for Sega. Hopefully this will be the same type of thing. All right, Eric, what do we got next?
It's being made by the Yakuza team. That helps.
Yep, that does help. All right, Eric, you're up next.
Bless Unleashed has got a date, and this is an MMO for the PC, which is now coming to the Xbox One. It's a free-to-play game, but comes out on March 11th or 12th, and there's various pre-order packs that you can get. But as start bonuses such as Head Start access, titles, costumes, mounts, and in-game currency and character slots.
Yeah, I would show you guys gameplay, but Namco Bandai, every time I show a trailer, they fucking flag it for whatever reason, and so I can't do
Another free-to-play MMO coming to the Xbox.
Yep.
Like, I don't have enough time to play all these games. I just don't.
I know, man. There's
Your
so many.
PSO's coming out soon.
Yeah, that's gonna be free-to-play, and now this is free-to-play. Like,
Yeah, the only free-to-play games I really play on the PS4 are Path of Exile every great once in a while, and that Dungeons and Dragons game, which is pretty good. But other than that, I don't really play the free-to-play MMOs. But
so
all right.
Speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, I know this is off topic, but did you watch the anime on Netflix?
I don't have Netflix, but is it good?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Wait, what
Okay.
show?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dragon Quest.
No, I wanted
Dragon
to,
Quest.
but in time for the show, but I didn't get around to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have time either.
No, I don't have Netflix, so I mean, I guess I could use my parents' Netflix account, but it's a pain in the ass, man.
What are they doing with it?
Yeah, exactly. How dare they use their service, you know?
I know you could be using it.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Duh.
Yeah. All right, Break, I think you're up next.
Yay me, coming to us live from RPG site. Versus Evil to publish Whittemore Tactics Club. I love the name of their company.
Yeah.
Versus Evil. This spring for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Developed by EVC, Wintermore Tactics Club is set in an academy where the Tactics Club aims to take first place in a school snowball tournament by becoming the heroes they play in a tabletop RPG campaign. So, yeah, there you go. It was hard enough for Alicia to make friends at a prestigious Wintermore Academy before the whole school erupted into a snowball tournament. Now her tiny tactics club must transform from nerdy nobodies into the heroes they play in their tabletop campaign, or they'll be disbanded forever. Well, that seems pretty harsh.
I know.
Discover the sinister truth behind the War of the Clubs in this cozy tactics RPG. Test your strategic mettle against an avalanche of strange and colorful characters, and don't forget to make new friends. Features: unlock your potential, discover the power of 7 playable characters, and dozens of unlockable upgrades across more than 40 battles. Explore the school, get to know Wintermore, and visual novel inspired gameplay. Break down the walls between high school cliques such as psychic detectives and young monarchists.
Yeah, I can't relate to that at all.
Shiloh May is in chat. What's up, Shiloh May?
Make new friends, write tabletop campaigns to help students overcome their personal problems and discover their fantasy selves as your club grows. Sounds very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds good, man. I mean, I'm not a tactic person, but it seems like kind of maybe an easier tactic type game. Like maybe not dumbed down. That's the wrong way I want to put it. But Freak 5's in chat. What's up, Freak 5? Welcome on in. Appreciate you showing up. He says, good evening, Grinders. So there you go.
I'm watching animation. There's gaps. They instead of animating the characters in combat, they just kind of showed still images, and they showed a still image of a guy with his hands in his pocket attacking.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's always fun. Okay, let's. Anything else on that, Break?
The young monarchists.
Yeah, the young monarchists. They're like British. Like they kept the British rule like all throughout the
I mean,
the
how
ages.
could there be more than one?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's move on to the next story from RPGsite.net. Operencia, The Stolen Sun, releases for PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Steam, and GOG on March 31st. So it's from Zen Studios. That's the same people that did like the pinball stuff, right? Let's see. So yeah, just what I said. So there's some good reviews for this game. It looks decent. There's not much more to it than it's out March 31st. So it's getting good reviews. It's a dungeon crawler, and I didn't get a chance to look at the trailer, but it looks like a first person. This would be right up my alley because I like this type of gameplay where it's like first person view RPG, like a la like Wizardry. Tales of the Forsaken Land, which I always rave about. I know not many people played that game, but I liked it. So it's getting 8s and 9s across the board, it looks like, and it looks pretty decent, so it might be something to check out. All right, Eric, what do we got next?
Excuse me. We've got a game called Broken Lines, and its release date for 25th this month. And it's for PC, but the Switch version to come shortly afterward. And it's about, looks like World War II.
It does look like a World War I or World War II tactic game. It looks pretty. It's isometric type view, but more of a tactic type game. Looks alright. This might be something that Break would play. I'm pretty sure. It's kind of different. It's got a different little.
You talked about this before, I think.
Yeah, I think we have talked about it. Freak5 says, must have an easy mode if it's right up Frank's alley. How dare you, Freak5. Matter of fact, you get the first exile of the day.
Whoa, you're going to do that on Valentine's Day?
On Valentine's Day. I'm feeling extra special today.
Bully. You're a Trumpish.
How dare you? How dare you?
You're a bully.
That's actually, a Trumpish is actually a Pokemon.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, let's move on to the next story. Breakman.
Coming to us live from RPG site, BioWare describes plans to reinvent Anthem in new blog post. Jesus Christ.
I know. Oof.
Let's just move on, guys. You failed with this. It's time to move on.
I'd rather they make a Dragon Age that doesn't suck.
Do you guys? Well, Dragon Age Inquisition is not bad, Eric. I like that Dragon Age.
But like from what I heard, it could be a lot better.
It was pretty good. I mean, it's not gonna blow anybody away by any stretch, but I like it quite a bit.
I know some people like 2.
Oh God. Well, those people just need to be dismissed out of turn because, like, they're out of their fucking mind. But yeah, I'm with you, Breakman. Anthem should just scrap that game altogether and move on. I mean, I'm sure it'll become a great game eventually.
Give some partial refunds to people.
I agree. I totally agree.
Anthem, A Realm Reborn.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, man. This game's a debacle from start to finish. I think they're gonna do an overhaul on it according to what I read about the game, and if that's the case, they should have just
watch them do the overhaul. I'll be completely underwhelming.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not expecting. And you guys know I was super hyped for Anthem. I mean, all the gameplay I saw, I'm like, sweet, I can fly around and kill stuff, and then do stuff like that. But it's highly, highly disappointing. So it's really, really. Did you have that story break? Anything else on that?
Yeah, I didn't even read the story yet. I'm actually reading the letter that who is this? Casey Hudson.
Yeah.
Hudson. Jesus Christ. BioWare boss Casey Hudson.
Yep.
He left a letter, and there's kind of they left a little synopsis up here, or just some short lines. He said, Anthem require more substantial reinvention and an update or expansion as they continue working on getting the beleaguered game out of its slump. The post also states that while the team will continue to run the current version of Anthem, the main goal is now a longer-term redesign of the experience, specifically noting the game's loot, progression systems, and in-game content.
Yeah, how about you just work on the game before it comes out? And make sure that it's fun to play before you actually send it out, because that was the big complaint, right? Really was not that fun to play.
It wasn't ready. It wasn't done yet. There wasn't enough content.
Was that mostly EA's fault though?
Well, either way,
it usually is the publisher's fault.
Yeah.
And the developer has to pay for the publisher's mistakes.
Yeah. And BioWare, man, I don't know. I'm starting to think BioWare is losing a lot of its touch.
He thinks this is more of an EA's fault. They rushed.
Yeah, but BioWare also, could have tried harder.
Yeah, I think they kind of slipped up on this too. But we always talk about publishers being the main, and there's definitely some validity to what you guys are saying and what we've been saying for a long time. The publishers are normally to blame for these type of problems, but there has to be some accountability on the developer cycle as well. And this game is a perfect example of the perfect storm of everybody involved being shitty with the public. And it's a shame because Anthem had a lot of potential, and you guys know I was super pumped for this game, but oof, what a debacle. I think they're selling it for like $10 now, $5-10. So that's got to tell you everything you need to know about this fucking game, man. It's
Is it worth it at $10?
No, I don't even think it's worth it at even $5 right now. Like there's nothing.
Didn't Destiny go to free to play?
Yeah, it went down to $5. You can pick that up for $5 too. But that game is that game is a lot better than Anthem. Of course, it's had a lot more time to get updates and stuff. But whatever. It's
I should say Destiny 2.
It's a shame. All right. Anything else on that break?
Nope.
All right. Next story comes.
To read his letter.
No, fuck that.
Which
man.
I don't want to do. So.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not gonna force you to do that. Break. Come on now. All right. Let's move on to the next story from RPGsite.net.
A letter of lies.
Yeah. P-Cube to publish Tears of Avia for release on Xbox One and PC this summer. And then there's a trailer, not much else. There's some stuff here. Stunning world of Estra awaits, full of beautiful hand illustrated locations. That's kind of cool. Control the flow.
This is the company that Break really likes the name of. It's called Cuckoo Squeaky.
Yeah, Cuckoo Squeaky. Control the flow of combat. Customize your party to your own playstyle and carefully combine the 5 classes with their unique abilities. Explore the many combos with over 100 skills. Shape the story your way. So of course that's how you do it. But looking at gameplay now, because I didn't have a chance to do it before we got on the air today, it looks pretty decent. Might be something I would play. It's got really cool anime style art, and I don't know, it looks kind of cool. I might check this out.
Based in the UK, so I wonder who they hired as artist.
I don't know, but it looks kind of decent to me. I don't know what you guys think, but looks pretty good. All right, Eric, you get the honor of the last story, which is kind of cool.
Neo has surpassed 3 million in ships.
Yeah, that's cool. I would have thought this would have been a lot bigger for this type of, but anytime that you introduce a new IP into the arena, there's a feeling out kind of a time when people decide whether they like it or not. I think for the most part, Neo was pretty liked, so I'm hoping Neo 2 does a lot happy.
I want to buy it next month, but there's so much other things coming out.
I know.
They seem pleased with 3 million shipped, not
sold
too.
Yeah.
So they seem really pleased with it. So we can't complain. Seems
no,
like
I'm not complaining at all. I think that's good numbers for a new IP for sure. So
it sounds like they'd probably work on a sequel.
They are
a really odd game where like the English characters would speak English, but like the Japanese people would speak Japanese. Yeah. And there's usually not very much overlap in between that.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm saying that when it sells that kind of units, like you can definitely expect to see. I know there's a sequel coming. That's not what I meant.
Yeah. I know what you meant, Break.
I tried contacting Sony's PR firm, but it doesn't sound like they're going to contact me.
Freak5 says, Happy Venereal Disease Day today. Yeah, exactly.
I thought you weren't going to talk about... yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Break doesn't want to talk about it. How dare you, bring Break down, Freak5? That's not right. It's not right at all. All right, let's move on to...
I don't think so. Homie, don't play that.
All right, homie discounts this week, guys. I don't know if you guys have any, and normally I talk about PlayStation sales, which they always have sales. They have, if anybody's into first person or third person type shooting, they have a Division 2 sale where you can get the game for $2.99. I was gonna pull the trigger on that, but I didn't know if it had a single player experience. If it did,
the game sucks though, so it's like
I heard that they made it better. So, I was thinking about getting it for $3, but I think it's a multiplayer only game. So that's why I didn't get into it. But I do want to go over some Nintendo sales, and I'll do it for Xbox when they do a really good sale too. I know I'm always on the PlayStation sales, but man, I mean, PlayStation always kills it with sales, but this week it happens to be Nintendo. They got all the Lego games on sale for like anywhere from 10 to 20, 23, 24 bucks. They got a Sonic sale with Sonic Mania for $10, which is a really good deal. Capcom publisher sale, all the Resident Evils are on sale in the $20, $9 to $20 range, so that's really good. Okami's only $11.99. I highly recommend picking that up. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy's $15. That's a pretty good deal. Mega Man 11, which Break always is high on, that's $15. That's not too bad of a sale at all.
There was this one weird sale where it was exactly $11.
Yeah. Freak Five says I saw an article.
I like that. I'd like to see more sales like that when a game,
Yeah.
it's like the 12th or 13th game, so $13.
Yeah,
cool.
why not? Freak says he saw an article earlier this week that the Girl Scouts were selling cookies outside of Chicago dispensaries, and I thought they need Girl Scout cookie edibles. A Thin Mint that gets you high would be nice. Yeah, there is thought to that, and I don't have any problems with that. That's actually a really smart business decision on their part. Although, like, people aren't really getting high like right at the dispensary, so I don't know the correlation there. But if it makes them more money, then why not? He also says I watched Jay and Silent Bob reboot this week. It was great. If you like Kevin Smith's movies, you will like it. I'd love to watch it for sure. So, Blizzard's having a sale on Diablo, which it's not much of a sale, $39.99. Activision's having a sale. Their stuff is like $20 for the Spyro trilogy and the Crash Bandicoot trilogy. Ubisoft is having a sale. You can pick up South Park Stick of Truth for $15 on the Switch. South Park Fractured But Whole for $20. Rayman Legends for $9.99. That's actually a really good deal because that's a great game. Child of Light, which I think is a fabulous game. I haven't played too much of it, but what I've played, it's really good. $4.99. So there's some really, really good sales for Nintendo, unusually so, this week. So there you go. There's anybody else have any homing discounts? Break, should I play your music?
No, but there's a link, a meme that, or I guess a photo that Freak sent us.
Uh-oh.
And well, you have to get on Twitter to see it, but
Put
it's
it in.
a picture of a guy with a robot, and the caption says, scientists processed 109 hours of oral sex to develop an AI that sucks dick.
What? Okay.
And somebody tagged that with, should have called EA. They've been making software that sucks dick for years.
That's awesome, man. Poor
Wait, so
EA.
it actually sucks dick, but it sucks at sucking dick?
That's even better, man.
You screwed that up, huh?
Yeah, they even fucked that up, man. How could you fuck that up? Jesus Christ. Too much teeth, I guess. All right. Nothing else, Break?
No.
All right. Let's move on to...
Valentine's Day.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, what were you saying? It's Valentine's Day and nobody sent in Dear Breakman questions. How dare you? Do you want to plug that real quick before we go on to what you've been playing, Break?
No, I don't want to talk anymore.
All right, if you have anything for Break, send it to @RPGrinders on Twitter. We will read your question on air. All right, Break, what have you been playing?
Let's see here. This week, I started a new game, and we talked about it last week. I actually said I'd be playing it because I was in the middle of downloading it last week, but Final Fantasy 15. I've been playing it
Oh,
since.
how you enjoying that, man?
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It is the weirdest Final Fantasy I've ever played.
Weirder than even 9, huh?
I feel like I still am trying to grasp the magic system. You basically make grenades with it, but
It's kind of like that, yeah.
but the materials for it, maybe I'm just too early in the game, but I can't seem to find materials to make new grenades.
Yeah, I
haven't
think
even...
it's 'cause we're still. I'm pretty early in the game. I don't know how far you are, but I've spent like 10 hours just wandering around the first town for
Alls
the
I,
most part.
alls I,
leveling up
alls I
and
did
stuff.
was like screw around in the map a little, get the car to Cindy's. That's all I did, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I've done is just look for monsters to kill for the most part. But why I say this is the weirdest Final Fantasy is I've done stuff like upgrade my car. Because you have a car and driving is a big part of this game.
Yeah, and you can run out
Um,
of gas too.
Yeah, like it's weird to see a car in Final Fantasy, and it was really weird when the opening song of the game was "Stand by Me."
Yeah. How weird.
I was just sitting here like, what is she singing "Stand by"? What the fuck is going on? Am I playing Final Fantasy? And then I get to the first town and everybody's talking with southern accents and stuff, and it brought nicely and stuff like that. I felt more like I was in the Midwest than playing a Final Fantasy.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't even started Final Fantasy 15, but I really want to. Freak Five says I don't need Break's advice
I
for
need
my
to buy
relationship. I'm
episode
doing.
Alvin.
You could still use Break's advice, Freak Five. Like like what cosplay to wear during sex and stuff like that. He'll answer for you for sure. He says he's playing Final Fantasy 9 currently. That's a great game. I think that's the most underrated Final Fantasy game. I think Final Fantasy 9 is a fabulous game for sure.
On the subject of Final Fantasy 9, oh no, just Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy 7 has released pictures of 3 of the summons, which are Cactuar. I guess it's Chocobo Mog, but like we only see Chocobo.
Mogobo.
Yeah.
And Carbuncle, which Carbuncle looks like a kitty now, which is not really a problem for me, but Chocobo's got some weird fro going on its hair.
Yeah.
Its feathers
Frocobo?
are like its head. The feathers on its head are like fairly plumed.
Frocobo, I love that. That's awesome. Okay, is that all you've been
But
playing?
anyway, so back to Final Fantasy 15.
Yes.
So early impressions, like the combat system seems like it's a much more improved version of Lightning Returns.
Yeah.
With some notable differences because it is really actiony. But you can there is a turn-based option. I just didn't run it. I was having too much fun
Like
with the
you could throw your sword somewhere and then teleport there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from there you get 4 different weapon types you can choose from, or 4 different weapon slots, and you can, as an Noctis, you can equip him with whatever because he can use all weapon types and all magic. So you cycle through your 4 different weapons as you're fighting enemies and combo them and such like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat, but I'm worried about getting old after a while because it's Final Fantasy and it's going to be a long game. But another thing that's kind of bothered me a little is that your 3 friends or your teammate, the 3 of them, whine an awful lot.
Well,
They act like, oh, it's hot out here. Oh,
That's mostly
I'm tired
Prompto, though, isn't it?
It's true, it is a lot of Prompto. I'm tired of walking, and I'm so hungry, and I need a bath. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, are you 5 years
Prompto
old?
is like the
Shut
tightest
up.
of the group or something.
yeah.
Like,
Okay.
dude, stop. I'm tired of hearing the same complaints, too.
Yeah. Well, that happens. I mean, in video games, there's only so much, voiceovers that they can do with their people that eventually you just run out. You hear the same shit over and
No,
over.
but make them say, like,
Have
other
you-
things other than bitching.
Have you
about
found
it.
the Couple Noodles hat yet?
The what?
The Couple Noodles hat.
I don't think so. I found a Cactuar.
That's
Give
cool.
me a lot of
There's lots of like in-game advertisement for real-world stuff.
Yeah,
Not
like the Coleman equipment, camping equipment. Like I noticed that everything was Coleman. The grill, the tent. And I'm just like, wow, Coleman. That's actually real.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on that break?
I don't know. It's so weird to play. I forget I'm playing I can't forget I'm playing a Final Fantasy, but I'm just like, wow, this is Final Fantasy. Like this is so different from. If you told me this is what I'd be playing with Final Fantasy like 20 years ago, I would have told you you're full of shit.
Yeah.
They're not gonna ever have cars in Final Fantasy. What are you fucking talking about?
Yeah. I'm probably
Well,
gonna.
7 had cars, but not a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'm probably
Well,
gonna.
I mean, like as a mechanic, because you do a lot of driving and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna play it turn-based. That's how I love to play those type of games. But Freak5 says, didn't 15 have a hot female mechanic?
Yeah, she's like the first character to meet Cindy, and she talks like this, and she's supposed to be a mechanic, but she's wearing like skimpiest of outfits, and you're like, how do you work in that? Aren't you afraid of like stuff getting all over you, like oil? Or no, I guess not. Okay, whatever. And wait, you're working for your grandpa? Isn't he uncomfortable with you wearing that?
Yeah,
No, I'm just
exactly.
kidding. I'm just kidding. No, you don't want your grandpa telling you what to wear. I think that's stuff.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Eric, what have you been playing?
I've been playing more Dark Souls 2. I beat it, but I still trying to get the platinum. I'm almost there.
I want to interrupt real quick. That actually does bring up when I was talking about them talking. There was one conversation where they did mention her. One of them talks about another one dating her and such like that. So there are some other topics have come up too.
That's cool. All right, Eric, you said you're working on the platinum for Dark Souls 2.
Yeah, otherwise I've been playing a little bit more Seven Scarlet in between my breaks at work. But I haven't played anything else.
Okay. Can you?
I have. I wasn't actually done before you like.
Oh shit!
On.
I'm sorry, Break. We'll go back to you.
Fine. This whole coronavirus got me kind of thinking about playing Plague Inc. again, so I got that out and I've been playing some Plague Inc.
Oh, Plague Inc. is a great game, man.
I know.
That's
Destroying
such a good
humanity.
game.
There's something special and rewarding about it.
Yeah, hardly ever.
When you see like there are no uninfected people left on the planet, it's like.
Break is so devious, man. That's funny as fuck, actually. Freak5 says she's in a desert. Not you mean desert? I think you mean desert.
She's a dessert.
It is hot. That is why she dresses that way. Yeah,
she's
right.
She's a dessert in the desert.
Exactly. Okay. So there you go. I've been playing a little bit of MPQ and a little bit of Spider-Man. I'm about a third of the way done with the game. God damn, is that game really, really fucking good. It's the best Spider-Man game I've ever played, and I played all of them. They're all pretty good, but this one is it's exceptional. Like everything from the way you swing through the city and the way the city is designed. It's New York, and it is gorgeous, man. It's a fantastic game.
That's cool. There've been some good Spider-Man games too.
This one's
pieces of shit.
This one is exceptional. Break. Like you really feel like Spider-Man as you're like traversing the city. You can go from one corner of the city to the other like seamlessly. It is the combat.
Is there a scene where you get to bang Mary Jane?
There is scenes with Mary Jane.
Do you feel like Spider-Man then?
There are scenes with Mary Jane. You don't necessarily get to bang her, but there's.
How come there are no scenes like that in any superhero games? What the hell?
I don't know, man. Combat.
Wouldn't you want just at one point Superman to be like, I'm done. Time to go home and sleep with Lois.
Yeah, that would be cool, man. An R-rated
they have kids
Superman
and stuff. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, who wouldn't want to see Lana in the nude? Lois.
I don't know. Like I don't know why my mind's going to these kind of things.
I have no idea, but they have fan fiction for that Break for sure. So, but anyways, the combat is super fluid. It reminds me kind of like how the Batman combat is. You know how like you're beating up one goon and you go right to the next. Like you can switch back and forth between your opponents, and it's a thing of beauty. It's like they took a bunch of elements from the best elements from a bunch of really great games and put them into Spider-Man. And I wouldn't expect anything less from Insomniac. They're a great developer, and they did a really fantastic job with this edition of Spider-Man. Like there's so much to do. Like it's just one of those games that you just it's open world, but it's contained. Like it's just the city, you know. So there's plenty to do, but man, is it really really good. I highly recommend people. I'll have a proper review, probably in a week or two. I mean, like I've got so much to do in that game. I'll be playing that for a while. Although I am a third of the way done. Freak5 says Mrs. Freak made steak, asparagus, and a twice baked potato for dinner, and it's delicious. So,
What's a twice baked potato?
you know what? I'm on a diet right now, so I can't really eat a lot of carbs. But the steak sounds really good, and the asparagus sounds really good. Freak also says, I think that in the next Deadpool movie, someone should rip off Deadpool's dick, throw it at him, and tell him to fuck himself, which he probably would. Freak5.
Yes.
So that's the Deadpool we know and love.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's. Speaking of reviews.
RPGrinders reviews.
All right, we're gonna. Break. Do you have any reviews this week?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I've been mostly playing Final Fantasy this week.
Okay, cool. Eric, you have a review of Sonic the Hedgehog. Please do not spoil for anybody who hasn't seen it yet.
Ooh, let me guess. I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it right now. He beats Dr. Robotnik.
All right, Eric, go ahead with the
No,
review.
he beats him with the power of chili dogs.
Chili dogs, nice.
The Sonic the Hedgehog is a movie based on Sonic the Hedgehog. And not to be confused with Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, which was not a movie at all, but rather a pilot to an OVA series that went nowhere because we only got the first one.
Yeah.
But this movie is it's okay. It's serviceable, and most of the humor, in fact, comes from Jim Carrey, and he's probably the only thing that keeps from being just kind of boring.
Yeah, I heard Jim Carrey is a standout in that movie, which is very heartening. I was
while I was initially mad about them calling him Robotnik rather than Eggman, they do work in the Eggman there, so they kind of went the Sonic Chronicles route of Eggman being that nickname that Sonic gives him.
Okay. And
But
okay, and Sonic looks good on screen. Like the redesign, yeah. Okay.
But it has some fart jokes in it because it's a kids movie, so I expect that. But they didn't go too hard on it, so I guess it's okay.
Freak5 just ruined it for everybody. He says Sonic runs really fast.
And they kind of took liberties with his ability to run. They kind of tried to explain it by he has basically the Flash energy. But he could do other things and run fast with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like cause electromagnetic pulses and stuff like that. But and they paid attention to the games a little bit. Like Sonic's rings are basically your portals, which is a thing you can do in the game to get to the special zones, like the Chaos Emeralds. But there's a mushroom planet, which I guess is a reference to Mushroom Hill Zone. But they definitely put a sequel hook in, so who knows if we'll get it.
Yeah, depends on how good it does this weekend, but it's looking pretty good.
Know anything yet as far as how it's sold?
They're projecting a 40 million weekend, which is actually really good, and that would put them up there in highest in the realm of highest video game adaptation money. So that's spells
maybe
good.
that means we'll start getting them to take video game movies seriously.
And they actually bothered to give Sonic an origin story because he kind of doesn't have one.
Yeah, I think they should just keep.
In the first game, he's just there all.
No, he's just there. He's just hey Sonic.
They should just keep Uwe Boll away from video game movies, and I think we'll be okay. Break.
And it's kind of a decent explanation of where Robotnik comes from too, because Robotnik's just some dude on Earth who's just evil, And in the Sonic games, he's a human, but like he's the only one we ever see in the Sonic games.
Yeah.
That wants to turn animals into machines for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. So what are you giving Sonic the Hedgehog, Eric?
I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Okay, that sounds really decent actually. That's like a magnum opus compared to what we've been giving most video game adaptations for sure. So
Better than Tomb Raider. And Tomb Raider, I mean, it wasn't bad, but there are definitely things about it that they shouldn't have done.
I've yet to see the new Tomb Raider. I saw the old Tomb Raider and I thought that was shit. So
I haven't seen any of them.
yeah, don't bother with the Jolie movies, man. They're pretty terrible. But I heard pretty good things about the newer Tomb Raider. Plus,
I've never seen a Uwe Ball movie either.
Rampage
oh God,
was okay,
don't bother.
too.
Don't bother. Don't bother at all, man. Okay. I have a real quick review of a series on Shudder called Deadlands. It's
Oh yeah, before we move on, there are 2 mid-credit sequences, so
okay.
stick around for those.
Okay. So Deadlands is a really cool kind of indigenous. I don't know if it's Australia or New Zealand, but it's a really fantastic series. I didn't expect much from it, and it's kind of gory. It's got a pretty decent story about these two people being put together in this situation to go find, the source of evil. Kind of standard story. But I love
When you
this
say
setting.
put together, do you mean like Voltron?
No, not like that. Like their circumstances put them
I
together.
know. I was making a joke.
Yeah. But it's fun. It's a fun series. It's kind of engrossing, to be honest with you. I can't give it a full score yet because they release it weekly, but I've seen 5 episodes, so I wanted to do a review and bring a spotlight to Deadlands. It's actually really, really good. Don't know how it ends yet. First season, but I highly recommend watching it. It's a really good series. Deadlands is what it's called. It's exclusively on Shudder. I think you can purchase it on all the streaming services and stuff like that, but I just watch it on Shudder. So yeah, highly recommend watching it. I'm not gonna give it a final score, but if I had to hedge in that direction, I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. Definitely worth your money on Shudder for sure. So there you go. Anybody have a heist-capade this week? I did not this week.
I actually do.
Oh,
I'm
you
gonna
want-
post a link in chat. Oh, you want to play the?
I'll play the music, yeah. Okay, what do we got here?
So, Newport, Kentucky. Police in Newport are looking for a man who broke into a storage facility and ran off and I said in a little girl's clothing.
Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna play this.
You mean he didn't completely rip it apart when he tried to put it on?
There's an image of him running away with it. There might be video here, but
Shit, there is video, but I'm trying to get the sound to not.
So, yeah, him wearing the little girl's clothes. Apparently, he broke into a family storage unit, and for some reason, he decided to steal the clothes.
How nice of this guy, man.
I mean, of everything, it doesn't look like he really left with anything else. Just he put on those clothes.
How nice. I'm trying to play it, but this it won't let me like. I don't know why it won't let me do this, but whatever. Okay, well I can't show the video, so. That's interesting, Breakman. So
you can see the picture of him basically walking away and
yeah,
even though you won't let you show the video, but
yeah.
So a man in his 50s running around town, running around Newport, Kentucky with a 7-year-old girl's clothing.
How
wearing
nice.
It, not in his hands, wearing it.
Beautiful. Perfect. Dungeon's in chat. What's up, Dungeon?
I guess what you have to do to get Dungeon to show up is say something about Mecha, maybe.
Yeah.
There
Just
are keywords. Like if I start talking about, say, G.I. Joe, he'll show up.
Speaking of Mecha, though, I did pick up Metal Wolf Chaos XD on the PS4 for $15 pre-owned.
That's awesome. Hey, look, I got the sound.
it wasn't as good as the deal that you had to do online only, which at the end of the day probably would have only saved me about $2 anyways, because shipping on GameStop.com is ridiculous.
Yeah, I got the soundbite for Dungeon Buster. So here's the soundbite that I'm going to use for Dungeon Buster every time he joins chat. Hold on, here we go.
Warrior, beat moon, bad height.
Did you guys like that? Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Warrior, beat moon, bad height.
I couldn't find the elf one, but I found the warrior one. So every time Dungeon comes in, that's what he's gonna get. I'm working on others.
I'm gonna be disappointed if like Metal Wolf Chaos doesn't have like something similar to the Moonlight Sword in it.
Yeah. Man, what's funny about this story, Breakman, that you brought up is it was a mom that caught this dude wearing her 7-year-old clothes.
And there's a mugshot of him, so people might be thinking, well, this guy's probably short. This guy's 6 feet tall.
Oh, Jesus Christ. 7 years old. Why? Oh,
And he's
boy.
wearing a 7-year-old's clothing.
I love how the commercials just decide just to go on just because. It's so awesome, man. But Dungeon looks like Dungeon agrees with his audio file that I got for him there. So cool. Well, I'm working on it, guys. Like everybody that I know is in chat. None of you fuckers sent me MP3s, so I'll be picking my own MP3s. You son of a bitches. But there you go. All right.
5, shot the food.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't shoot the food. Exactly. All right, let's. I don't have any high escapades, and I don't think Eric does. So let's move on to everybody's favorite
I
segment.
thought you had one last week that you didn't get a chance to
I did
tell
it last week. I did it
us.
last
Oh, you did?
week. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. I did it last week. All right, let's move on.
What is it?
Stinko of the week.
All right, Break, you're up. What is your
already know
stink of the
mine.
week? Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Last week, the president was acquitted of, what was it?
Abuse of power.
What's that? Tampering with, investigation into his abuse of power by, soliciting a foreign government to, investigate a rival.
Yeah.
So this week he 2 times really he enforced, since he was acquitted. Now he has decided he can do whatever he wanted. He has gone directly to New York and told them he will do some things to them, or he will give them what they rightfully deserve, only if they do what he wants them to do, which is stop investigating him.
Yeah.
So he's using he's using the government against the state of New York, and then the one that's really it's got Barr in the hot water. Trump, obviously, he gets that way with everything. It doesn't fucking make sense to me.
Yeah.
But he decided to interfere in the trial of Roger Stone.
This is major, Breakman. I'm glad
They're both major.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought the Bill Barr stuff. The only reason that he went on TV to dispute the president, which really wasn't much of a dispute, it was basically just saying, "President, don't get involved. I got your back." That's what Barr was saying.
And what he was saying to the public was this. I'm translating for everyone.
Yeah.
The president needs to shut up because he's making it harder for me to cover up.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was saying. Yep. By the way, welcome Aggressive Sock into chat and Commander Root. Really appreciate you guys joining for sure, as well as Dungeon.
The thing is, Mr. Barr, what cover up has happened with a lot of this stuff? He has done it in the public eye.
Yeah.
And nobody has stopped him. You guys keep letting him do whatever he wants.
This whole Roger Stone thing bothers me because all Trump had to do was shut his mouth. And once they gave the sentence, all he had to do was say, "I pardon you, Roger Stone." Now, of course, there would be some people that would be upset. We would be upset. I would be upset. I know you would break. I know Eric would be. But, hey, the president has pardon power. That's part of the job, right? You have the ability to pardon.
I'm always upset with pardons because every time there's pardons from governors or presidential, They don't want to announce names, but you'll look at them and you'll see some real scumbags.
Yeah, but on the other end of that, there are people that deserve pardons. That like Trump pardoned. It was a black female. I can't remember her name.
Yeah,
She,
I mean
she-
there are some that deserve it, but they always, every
Yeah.
single president and every single governor I've ever seen, there are going to be some good people that they pardon, but then you'll see that they pardon some real scumbags.
Yeah, there's always something behind those moves too. But yeah, I agree, Breakman. Terrible week as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, so the president has gone right back to committing crimes. Just a week after being acquitted by the Congress for doing exactly the things like, well, he said there was no quid pro quo. So what's this when you say to New York that unless you stop the investigations, I'm not going to give you what you rightfully deserve?
Yeah.
How
yeah.
is that not a quid pro quo?
Yeah, it is. It is, Breakman. But see, since the Senate was pretty much spineless, and we talked about this, and then there's a few that are even more egregious, like Susan Collins comes to mind. She was like, "Oh well, I think he really learned his lesson." Yeah, you can definitely tell he learned his lesson, like the day of all this shit he was tweeting and all that. So no, he did not learn his lesson. They gave him carte blanche, Breakman, and this is something that we've talked about on this show.
Is exactly what we said would happen.
Yep.
Like, he didn't wait. He did not wait. He just went right into it.
No, and I didn't
After he had
expect him
his
to.
victory celebration last week, this week he decided, well, now I can do whatever I want.
Yep, exactly, and it's sickening for sure. Any final thoughts on that, Breakman?
Well, in the Roger Stone case, it gets worse. And the reason I did built from the quid pro quo over to the Roger Stone is because Roger Stone, he has essentially turned the DOJ into his own personal police force.
Yep.
And now it is okay for him to attack lawyers, judges, and citizens, because he went after jurors too.
Yeah.
So it's okay for the president of the United States to target citizens.
I'm curious to find out exactly how much time Judge Berman gives Roger Stone, Breakman, and I'm guessing it's going to be on the higher end. I think it's going to be 9 years. I think she's going to give him, because she can do whatever she wants. She can put him in prison for life.
She's getting pressured by the DOJ now too.
They can pressure her all they want. They can't do anything about it. She's a presidentially appointed judge. So there's nothing they can do. They can wish and want and hope that she does what they say. They went from 7 to 9 years down to like 2 to 4. But
where we both know Roger Stone should be in jail for the rest of his life.
He really should. Roger Stone's one of the most egregious, worthless pieces of shit that has ever lived.
They've prosecuted him for what he did during Trump to intimidate witnesses and lie under oath for Trump and stuff like that. He's been doing that since Nixon.
Yep, exactly right. He has a tattoo of Nixon.
He's perfected it.
Yeah. And he finally got caught. That was the problem. Yeah. And now he's going to get I'm guessing that it'll take Trump every bit of a week to pardon Roger Stone, which is a travesty. And someone else that Trump pardoned was that guy that he was a naval officer that killed civilians and stuff like that.
Scumbags.
Yeah, he's a total and utter scumbag, and he gives the military a bad name. I think his name was Gallagher.
I can't remember his name, but that's another one of those things that made the military mad, like you were talking about last week. The military said, no, we do not like this guy. This guy was doing things that we told him not to do, and soldiers did not want to be around him because he was, he's a sick bastard.
Yeah, he's a loose cannon, and you can't have that in the military.
Sicko.
He's definitely a sicko. Psychopath is probably the way that I would describe him. Nobody poses with a dead body and has any modicum of decency
Who would even
within
think of something like that? Like, you kill somebody and then take a selfie with them?
It's ridiculous. And kills.
That sounds like something the Joker would do,
Yeah, kills kids. He killed kids.
That sounds like something the Joker would do too.
Yep.
Who does this guy think he is, the Joker?
Yeah, exactly. Only less charismatic and not as smart.
Charismatic.
Yeah, the Joker's
Yeah,
very,
the
very
Joker's
charismatic.
yes, he's very charismatic. He's able
Yeah.
to seduce Harley Quinn.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I totally agree with you, Break. There's nothing you said that I disagree with in the least. Eric, I didn't see a stinko for you. Did you?
Yeah, I don't really have one.
Okay, I have a few to make up for it, guys. Okay, so we've been watching the Iowa caucus, which I complained about last week. And they just had the New Hampshire primaries, which Bernie won. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. He won. He won Iowa and he won New Hampshire, so Bernie's riding a wave right now. But of course, with that good news comes all the mainstream media and how badly they hate Bernie Sanders. Chuck Todd on MSNBC compared Bernie's supporters to Nazis. He called them brown shirts, which is a direct comparison to Nazis, which is absolutely ridiculous. Chris Matthews is scared that Bernie will execute him in Central Park. This is something he literally said. He didn't literally say that Bernie would execute him in Central Park, but he said it would lead to killings in Central Park, which is absolutely ridiculous. And apparently getting third place is better than first place. I can't remember who said it, but I think it was on
Winning is losing.
yeah, on
Losing
MSNBC. I was watching the New Hampshire primaries. Sanders came in first, Buttigieg came in second, and Amy Klobuchar came in third. And I literally heard one of the pundits say that being in third was a big victory. And they totally dismissed Bernie being number one, which was, I thought, really fucking shitty. But you know what? That's what you can expect with mainstream media. Freak5 says his stinko in December. My stinko was about a woman who hit a 14-year-old girl with her car because the girl was Mexican. And earlier that same day, the woman hit an African-American boy. This week, she was deemed incompetent to stand trial. That is definitely a stinko, Freak5. That's terrible.
She's clearly mentally unwell.
Yeah, I remember.
I get that. So
I remember Freak5 talking
like you
about
can
that.
arrest her, but you're not going to give her the help she needs. Okay, so
Yeah, so
I
she's
understand
so what?
that decision.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. It's stupid, but okay. Let's move on to Sweetos.
No, I'm saying she should go to jail.
Yeah.
Sweeto of the week.
All right, Sweeto of the week.
She's not going to be either, though.
Breakman, your Sweeto.
My Sweeto. Oh, I guess it's kind of a half a Sweeto. A legendary actor is coming back. Not for the role we're hoping, but, maybe that he's coming back for this. Maybe, maybe he'll expand and do some other things.
Freddy Krueger?
No, crossing our fingers that we see Rick Moranis back in Ghostbusters, because Rick Moranis is back to acting.
What?
Disney backed up the Brinks truck to get him to come back for a Honey to Shrunk the Kids sequel.
Yes! Yes!
Do we really need a sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, though?
No, but I
don't
don't...
know. The sequels to the first one were ridiculous in the first place. Like, the original was a great kids movie. It didn't need any sequels. But yeah, I'm just glad he's coming back to Hollywood, and maybe they can sway him to other stuff because
Rick
Moranis.
What was the Canadian beer guy that he
Maybe
played?
they could finally make the sequel to Spaceballs.
Oh my God, Spaceballs, Ghostbusters, fucking what was that team that he was with, that other guy, and was like the Canadians drinking beer and stuff?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Strange,
about.
it wasn't Strange Brew, was it? Maybe it was Strange Brew. But anyways,
shit. Now I need to think about that one.
Yeah, that's great news.
He's always great at like character actors and stuff such like that. Like his character in Ghostbusters. Could we see anybody else playing that kind of role?
No, man, no way. It has to be him, man, for sure. That's great news, man, for sure. That's really
I'm excited.
I'm excited too, man. Even though, like you were saying,
the only one like comes close to his acting style might have been like early days Martin Short.
Yeah, I can see that. Martin Short's been missing forever too, man. But Rick Moranis coming back's a big thing. Break. That's really, really cool. All right, Eric, you're up. You're Sweeto of the week if you have one.
Nah, nothing.
All right, I got one. I mentioned it.
Really sold one.
Oh, Dungeon says, "Wow, it would have been great to have him in Afterlife." Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, they really do got a lot of money, Dungeon, for sure. He says, but Disney has all that Marvel money. Yeah, they have.
And Star Wars money.
And Star Wars and Disney movie money and whatever.
And ESPN money.
Yeah, and ESPN money, exactly.
And ABC money.
Yep.
Let me see, what else do they own? Oh, Hulu money. Well, we could keep going. Disney owns everything almost at this point.
It'd be weird if he ends up showing it in the next Ant-Man movie for some reason, talking about shrink rays or growth rays.
That actually would be kind of a good tie-in. I didn't even think about that, Eric. Good call.
A little funny joke, maybe.
Yeah. Freak5 says, wasn't one of the sequels that he blew up the baby? Yeah, there was. It was the opposite. Like,
Honey, I Blew Up the Kid.
Yeah.
And then they made the third one where all the adults got shrunk and the kids are booed, throwing a party when the parents are away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
That was terrible.
I mentioned My Sweeto, but Bernie Wan, New Hampshire, which is exciting for me and I'm sure exciting for a lot of people. And it's looking good, Nevada and South Carolina. If Bernie takes Nevada and South Carolina, Biden's done. And we can... I don't want to say be assured of a Bernie nomination because there's always a way that the DNC will fuck it up. But it's looking good for Bernie. I'm really happy and the way things are going, even though they tried to screw him over in Iowa and how they tried to screw him over in New Hampshire. It's just not working. There's too many people that are backing the movement, and Bernie has the best chance of beating Trump. So I'm excited. Things are going in the right way. So there's that. All right, let's move on to our free-for-all.
It's a free-for-all. Little baby. Yeah, it's a free-for-all. Wow. Suck it.
Ooh, before we get to the free-for-all, Freak5 came up with a good question. Who could Rick Moranis play in the Marvel Universe? Jesus Christ, that's a really, really, really good question. But if we're going offbeat, maybe... I would have said J. Jonah Jameson, but J.K. Simmons has that pretty much wrapped up, man. He is Jonah Jameson.
I was gonna say Arcade.
Arcade, okay, I could see that.
Make it a Spider-Man movie.
What about
have him be really goofy?
What about Shocker? Rick Moranis could make a good Shocker, I would think, like a outside the box type.
Didn't they kind of already throw away Shocker in the first Spider-Man movie though?
They could bring him back, man. They can always bring back characters.
Well, the way they made Shocker in the first one, they made it as kind of an archetype instead of a person because it was two different people.
Yeah.
So they made it whoever was holding the gloves was Shocker.
Yeah.
So they could always make new gloves and bring them back. Yeah.
What about somebody like Puck, maybe? Or, I'm always thinking of Rick Moranis as a villain because that's totally against his kind of stereotype, But
he's great as Dark Helmet.
He could be a character from the X-Force because they're Canadian.
Yeah, that's true. He could do that. As far as heroes go, it would be really hard to find a real good hero role for Rick Moranis. He would be better in like a dad kind of way, like somebody's dad or somebody's brother, or I don't know, somebody's uncle or something, like Captain Marvel's uncle or something. I just can't see Rick Moranis as a superhero. Maybe a villain, kind of like what they did with Michael Keaton and Vulture, which I thought was an inspired choice actually.
What about that? What about the Hulk's friend, Rick? What's his name?
Yeah, I could see that, like a scientist type guy that's his, helps him along. What about Rick Moranis as Dr. Octopus? I think that could work. Rick Moranis as Doc Ock. I mean, I know we're used to kind of seeing what's his name as Doc Ock, but I think Rick Moranis would make it. Oh, what about MODOK? Rick Moranis could make a good MODOK. Yeah, MODOK or
But he would be mostly just a voice actor at that point.
Well, they could use his likeness. Squirrel Girl's dad, Freak5 says. Yeah, something like that. Like I don't know. I think that'd be okay. Like a supporting type character, not.
Miss Marvel's dad.
Yeah, I said uncle, but yeah, dad'll
No,
work.
you said Captain Marvel. Miss Marvel's a different character.
Oh yeah, Ms. Marvel. Yeah. Yeah, that could work too. I can see that. Okay, guys, let's move on to our free for all this week. This is interesting. I brought it up because I was watching videos. I was talking about interviews I was trying to get earlier, and I'm working on getting Ben Dixon on, who's a political commentator. Hopefully we'll have them on either live or pre-recorded. But and I'm also trying to get JG from SGV News First. What he does is he does a lot of First Amendment audits, and there's a lot of interesting interactions with security guards and police and stuff like that, which I talk a lot about on the show. But I was watching SGV News First videos, and what I find amazing is, like, people hate to be on camera, but they're always willing to go up to a camera. Like, he always tells them, there's no expectation of privacy in public and stuff like that. So if you don't want to be filmed, then don't go up to a camera. And I was talking a little bit to Eric about it, and I was thinking, I asked Eric, I was like, why are people so afraid of cameras? Because it's just, it's so weird. Like, you can have a camera at work all day, but the minute somebody pulls out a camera and starts taking your picture or video, people seem to have a problem with it. And I was just like dumbfounded by it. And then Eric brought up a good point. He said, well, maybe they're just superstitious. So that brought me to this week's free-for-all. Superstition. Why do you believe people are superstitious, and do you have any superstitious beliefs? Breakman, I'll start with you first. Why do you think people believe in superstition?
Because I think it's the easier way out.
Yeah, that's distinct. I would
instead of looking into things or trying to instead of trying to be rational and explain something scientifically or through a thought process, it's just easier to believe in something you've always believed in, right?
Yeah, we've talked about it with religion. It's always easier to take the religious way out, right?
Here's the video game superstition people believed in a long time, and I was one of them. But like people believe that that in Pokemon, like, you could hold up and beam or down and beam. I forget what it was, but it
totally could.
When the Pokemon got captured in Pokeball, and it apparently increased your chances of catching them.
Duh. Everybody knows that.
But that's not true at all.
No, it is true.
It's completely random. But, like, I think the reason why people believed it is because some games you can manipulate the RNG by button inputs.
Yeah. I find it an endlessly fascinating question because, I've seen it in sports a lot, like, especially in baseball. Like, if you notice, when a lot of batters go up to bat, they'll take off their glove and they'll, like, stroke the bat and do all this fucking ritualistic bullshit that doesn't mean anything, right?
That's interesting. I didn't really think of it like that. With athletes, for instance, I think it's maybe mentally easier for them to have something else to focus on as opposed to trying to maybe being in their head too much.
Yeah.
Sports, there's a lot of reaction and a lot of physical reaction. You don't have time to think. You have to react.
Yeah, and that's why
maybe superstition gives them something to redirect their thought process.
Well, it's kind of weird, Break, because, like, in sports especially, like somebody will wear a certain jersey, like, but they never mention how many times they've lost in that jersey. They always think that it's like this beacon of winning or something, and it's like, it doesn't make any sense. It's sort of like that thing where people say, like, people die in threes. Like, that's just total bullshit. Like, people die in whatever random chaos the universe spouts out. It's not.
Well, the thing is that, like, when they say people die in threes, that's not true because people die every single day.
Right.
Like, death
Right.
is happening all around us. There are minor celebrities that die every single day.
Yeah.
In fact,
Yeah.
some people don't get reported until like days later.
True.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And anybody can easily say that people die in threes, and they can group people in threes, right? Like, for instance, if like Sid Haig died the other, like last year, and he was in Devil's Rejects and a bunch of other movies. But I mean, anybody that died around him, you could group two other people in with him, and you can say, oh, they always die in threes, and it's like, it's just totally not true. It's total superstitious bullshit. Dungeon says, camera at work is for security. Someone just filming you is weird because you usually don't know where that footage is going. I understand that, Dungeon, but the funny thing about that type of stuff is like, people have no problems. They're on camera all day at work, right? Like you said. But the minute somebody pulls out a camera out in public, they get fucking weirded out. What difference does it make where that footage is? If you go up to the camera, there's no expectation of privacy in public. You know what I mean? Like at work, there is an expectation of certain privacies, even though, you have cameras everywhere at work usually. So, it's just one of those things. I don't know. But other superstitious beliefs, like breaking a mirror. You know how many fucking mirrors I broke in my life? And it doesn't add or detract from my life at all. I break a mirror, I clean it up and throw it in the trash. It's over. It's like, it has nothing to do with how much bad luck I'm going to have during the day or how much good luck I have during the day. You can feel that way, and you can make it fit your life, I guess. Like, if you break a mirror and the next day, something bad happens to you, you can say, oh, yep, I just broke a mirror, that's why that happened. I mean, the way that people, like you said, it's kind of an excuse for things. It's like how people use religion for a crutch. Like, a lot of times, this is not to bag on anybody's beliefs or anything like that.
Over aspects of my life, so blame it on this thing, and I'll feel better about it.
Freak 5 says he has to go. Him and Mrs. Freak are about to watch Zombieland 2. It's really good, Freak. You guys will have fun later, dude. Have fun. So I guess there's not gonna be a GDP.
Did he say quote unquote watch Zombieland 2?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Or is Zombieland 2 like going to be on in the background, or is he going to watch it while they're doing it? Like,
oh my God, I don't even want to hear that, Breakman. The thought of Freak 5 having sex is not going to be in my purview tonight. Hopefully you'll join later, Freak 5, for GDP. I might do a GDP. Just depends how many people show up, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, do you have any superstitious beliefs? I'll start with you, Breakman. Is there any like ritual that you do to like get you through a day or anything of that nature?
Any rituals I ever do are OCD related.
Right. Well, there's a difference, right? I mean, there's OCD, and then there's like actual superstitious beliefs. I know one is like never walk underneath a ladder. I never got that one. Like, what is that supposed to do? Like what is the thinking behind that? Like, where did these things come from?
Never, don't step on a crack, you'll break your mama's back. That kind of stuff.
Black cat crossing your path is bad
yeah,
luck.
I have black cats. I guess I'm eternally cursed. They're always crossing my path.
Or does the curse only apply to cats that aren't yours?
Yeah, I guess. There's no caveats, man.
If I own black cats, then do I curse the black cats?
No, you curse other people with your black cats.
I curse others. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so anybody goes to your house, like, if the cat goes in front of them, they're supposed to have bad luck, man. I don't know. It's just it was just something funny because I just find it weird that people get weirded out by cameras. Like, if you don't want to be filmed, just walk away. You don't have to stay there. You can walk. Like, I was watching SGV News, and like a lot of times the security guards will go right up to him. Can I help you? Do you need anything? And it's like, no, I don't. Go away. He doesn't need any help. He's there doing his business. There you have, no expectation of privacy in public. So, anything you can see, you can film. That's the law, and somebody's feelings doesn't trump, somebody's rights. So I don't know. I just thought it was weird, and Eric came up with the best explanation that I could find, which is that certain people are superstitious when it comes to being filmed. It's just a weird thing, So
It's like the athletes, or not athletes, but fans. Like, for instance, like some fans that think that in some way they can affect the game.
Yeah. It's like, oh, don't say that about a certain team because you'll curse them. It's like nothing you say or do is gonna matter on the field. It's the players that.
I couldn't practice cursing someone.
And most fans realize that.
Yeah.
How do you curse someone when you're not practiced in the art of cursing anyway?
Yeah, none of us are.
Let's say, speak in fantasy terms where curses are real. It's like you didn't study curses, so how can you curse someone?
Yeah,
but the
exactly.
thing is, the people who do study curses don't curse anybody either.
Yeah.
Just say it because they can't.
Winsock is in chat. What's up, Winsock? Yeah, I just find superstitions to be not for weak-minded people, because that's not the way that I want to come across. I just find it as like an easy excuse, It's like
that's my thought. Is it's just you're looking for an answer, and instead of trying to find a real answer, it's just easier to go with what you've always believed or what your mama told you. Because, and you know what, I think that plays a little part. People don't want to believe their parents lied to them at any point.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Like, and
or
so
their friends or the people that they look up to as a child, they don't want to think of them as liars.
Yeah. Dungeon says security camera is for security. I have no idea what a stranger using their phone to film people at random is going to do. What could he possibly do with that footage, Dungeon Buster? If I was in a public park, for instance, and I saw a guy and he wasn't in my face with the camera, like, in other words, like, he didn't come up to me and put the camera in my grill and start filming, I could care less what he fucking films.
Should we be afraid of everything because of something that might happen?
Yeah.
What if he was walking low with his camera and, kind of looked like he might be taking some upskirts?
Upskirts is a different thing altogether, and I understand why. But, like, if a random stranger is just taking photography and I happen to be in that film or picture, there's nothing I can say or do because it's out in public. If I was in my home, let's say, for instance, I was sitting in my room like I am right now, and I'm looking out the window, and there's a guy on the street, and he's like zooming in on me, like I would kind of feel weird. But there's a thing called curtains. You just put your curtains, or you go to a different room, and the problem's solved. Now, if he's in my yard and doing it, that's a completely different story. Like, in other words, Dungeon, if I went to your place of work and I wasn't on a public sidewalk, if I'm on a public sidewalk and I can see you in your work, then there's nothing anybody can do about it. But if I go onto your property and I'm like really focused in on you and I'm on the property, then I should be escorted out. So you can do your business.
Like, you walk up to his front porch and you put the camera right against the window.
Yeah,
He's sitting there
exactly.
watching TV and you're just sitting there staring at him.
Right. Now that's a whole different story. He goes, Dungeon says, if you're in my grill, that's a problem. I totally agree with you, Dungeon. But if I'm just part of the scenery, I don't care. You didn't specify what instance the camera was going to be used in. I'm saying, like these guys, these First Amendment auditors, they go on public sidewalks, Dungeon, and there's businesses, right? Those are private businesses, but the sidewalk is public, and anything you can see from that sidewalk, you can film legally. There's nothing wrong with it. Cops can come and they could tell you not to go on the property, which that's fine. But if you weren't breaking the law, you weren't doing anything wrong, you were just taking photography and you happened to see a business and you were taking pictures and video, then there's nothing wrong with that at all. All right. I think that's all we're going to have time for today. But I am going to be doing a GDP probably about an hour and a half long. It's going to take me about 20 minutes to set up after we end the show. So if you're in chat, Dungeon, if you want to stick around, and anybody else in chat, that would be awesome. It'll just take me a few minutes to get things set up. It's a special Valentine's Day edition of Grinder Dance Party, which I haven't done GDP in a long time, but I'm going to bring it back tonight. And the theme is love and sex, which is pretty much every single rock song you've ever heard and most R&B songs. So I'm sure nobody will have a problem giving me YouTube links to songs that are in the vein of love and sex this evening. So if you want to stick around for that, great. Would love to have you. Make sure you request your songs with the link in chat.
Let me see your pussy. Show it to me. Is that a love song?
Absolutely. You put it in chat, Break, and I will play it. You guys know.
It can be.
You guys know I play anything. So request a song. Stick around after the show, and I'll do a GDP. Maybe about an hour's long. Or
let me see. Fuck Her Gently. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Stuff like that, or whatever you want. Love and sex is the theme for tonight's GDP. Right after this show.
Love and marriage, love and marriage.
Oh dear Lord, that's all we needed was Break singing this week. Ugh. Okay, at least it wasn't accompanied by harmonica, so that's good.
Oh, you mean this?
Oh dear Lord, I opened my mouth. Jesus Christ. Oh. This is awful. It's the worst show ever. I'm so glad it's over.
Mrs. Breakman has another instrument that she would like me to play.
Okay.
I don't have it on me today, but...
All right, little cowbell. I like the cowbell.
Yeah,
all
some
right.
cowbell and some harmonica.
No harmonica. Oh, dear Lord. Break.
Got a didgeridoo.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I think Break is trying to do jingle bells with his harmonica every time he plays that, man. But
not jingle bells.
All right, let's do our plugs.
Bells, wasn't he?
Yeah. Do tubular bells with your harmonica, man. That would be kind of cool, I guess. I don't know if that was tubular bells.
I have no idea what that was.
All right,
let's. I think I know how to play harmonica. You are stupid.
All right, Break. Plug away.
At Break_man on Twitter and at RPGrinders on Twitter, where you can ask us questions. Anything, you can ask us advice at RPGrinders, or hashtag Dear Breakman. I'm just
I know. I had a couple people that were supposed to send you in stuff today, Break, but apparently they didn't do it, so I'll have to get on that after the show. Please, Break.
Let me go double check then. Maybe they sent something.
They probably did, and you didn't even check, you son of a bitch.
Come on, be here something. Be something to.
Nothing in Dear Breakman this week. Poor Breakman. Send your questions into at RPGrinders Breakman hashtag Dear Breakman. How dare you? Dungeon Bester says the power of harmonica. Don't encourage him, Dungeon. Don't encourage him. All right. That don't add to the problem. It's like an alcoholic. You don't put like a vial of Jack Daniels in front of an alcoholic. You don't encourage Breakman with the harmonica. All right, Eric, you're up. Your plugs, please.
You can find sites I've written reviews for, such as BostonBashBreak.com, TotallyGN.com, and VogNetwork.com. And if you like what I have written and you want to support me, sending me as little as $1 on my Patreon would help out a lot. And my Patreon, the link to my Patreon is in my Twitter profile at EricRPG, or you can just go there and type in my name, Eric Kelly.
Yep. At Eric RPG, everybody. That's where his Patreon link is, and or you can just search Eric Kelly, and you will find a link to his Patreon. Support Eric. He does really, really good written work for sure. Anything else, Eric?
I haven't really got anything written this week yet, but tomorrow will be a different story because I'll probably have finished Dark Souls 2's platinuming by then.
All right. Anything else, Eric?
Enjoy the rest of Valentine's Day.
Yep. Happy Valentine's
Day weekend.
Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. Thanks to all the chatter. Aggressive Sock was in chat. How dare you, Breakman? Exiled, you son of a bitch. Commander Rude is in chat. Lurks is in chat. What's up, Lurks? Thanks for joining at the end. I'm going to be doing Grinder Dance Party right after, so stick around. It's going to take me about 15-20 minutes to set up. Dungeon was in our chat. As always, Dungeon. Shiloh May, first timer. Thank you for joining the chat. I really, really appreciate that. Who else is in there? God damn it. Let's see. What? Okay.
I know who else is in there.
Oh, how
Sad
dare
Veronica.
you? No. Shiloh May, Windsock was in there, Lurks, Commander Root, Aggressive Sock, and Dungeon, a good friend. And can't forget Freak 5. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate that. Let's see, what else? You can follow me on Twitter at Frank Branches, or on any of the platforms RPGrinders, whether it's Nintendo or Sony PlayStation or Xbox, it's RPGrinders. So there you go. Thank you everybody so much for joining. Anybody have anything else?
Do you want me to give you background music?
No, I do not. What about you, Eric? Anything else?
No.
Dare you? Unless it's cowbell. If it's cowbell, I'm good with that. Thanks for joining, everybody. Stay safe this weekend. We want to see you. Go see Deadlands on Shudder. Get Shudder. It's a great service, especially if you like horror. All right, that's it. Stay safe this weekend. We want to see you back here next week. Stick around about 15-20 minutes after this show, and I will be doing a live edition of Grinder Dance Party only on twitch.tv. I will not be doing it on YouTube because I don't want the copyright strike. So thank you all very, very much. If you're listening on archives, thank you all so much as well. Take care. Stay safe this weekend. We want to see you back here next week. Till then, we are out. Later, everybody.
Sad harmonica. Oh, it's almost like it's crying. How about this?
How dare you?
Cowbell. You sad cowbell?
Damn right, cowbell.
Oh, cowbell's sad too. Sad cowbell.
Send more ass break questions.
Break is the worst co-host ever, man. It's the worst. It's the worst fucking co-host, man. I swear to God. Like, the absolute worst, man. Thanks, everybody in chat. Really, really appreciate it. And also, obviously, on archives, if you're listening. We love you guys. Stick around. 15-20 minutes. I'll be ready for GDP. Get your song request links on YouTube ready, because I will play each and every one of them. Give me about 15-20 minutes. I will be back. Later, everybody.